Jai Hind doston, and I welcome all the lovely viewers of How to Crack SSB and all the charming aspirants, and once again I welcome all you to the 12th episode of Youth with Passion show. Today I'm actually very happy and very excited because let me tell you guys, the guest who will be joining us today is not a very simple personality. I am 100% sure that every viewer will going to be mobilized once he will be there on the dais. Let me just share, because I have a big list of his achievements. If I talk about the army, he is the one such person serving in army for 37 years, and he's one of the very few in India who has killed maximum terrorists and created his biggest records. He's the one such person in Indian Army who has got the privilege and opportunity, and the one who has created for 15 years the whole plan of army, right from their overall planning for the training, how the things have to take place in Indian Army, and everything has been conceptualized by him. Right now, though he has retired, still youth is what he really loves to serve, to promote them, to push them. And the best part is, मेरे बहुत मेरा खुद का उनके साथ बहुत प्यार है. And the very first day when I met him, I was so impressed and I was so happy to meet him. And when I see someone who is doing so much for the youth, even मेरे लिए भी उनसे बहुत कुछ सीखने के लिए है. And it is a great honor that I'll be welcoming none other than Maj Gen Dilawar Singh on the dais today at Youth with Passion show. Welcome to the show, sir.
Jai Hind. Thank you, Ujjwal. Thank you so much.
Jai Hind. Sir, it is a great privilege that today we have been taking this mission to push the aspirants, because Youth with Passion show, the overall mission of the How to Crack SSB team is to push the aspirants who are really willing to get into Indian Armed Forces. So I would like to start the show, if you can tell a very short that what the army is all about, which could be a very strong inspiration for all our viewers.
Jai Hind, viewers, and especially those who are watching the show right now. I can tell you one thing very simply, that life is all about serving the others. And this was said so by Lord Krishna when he was answering to Barbarik in Mahabharata. And if serving is the best thing that one can do as a human being, being in the uniform, and especially being an officer in the uniform, is much above that. And that is what you can think of when you join the army. Not only are you serving others, but those of you who join would actually be ready to lay down their lives for others. There can be no better service to humanity and service to nation. And if one gets a chance like this, that is the ultimate that you can ever achieve in life. And that's what I say is army.
Great, fantabulous, sir. Such a beautiful, I would say, definition that you have given. Truly, it showcases that this can only come from a person who has really experienced and manifested something, and that what you have done with your achievements, sir. Very important thing I would like, because we don't want to miss this opportunity, sir, because you have a very unique experience of one specialization being in army, and I want that if you can share that with our viewers, that how they can use that perspective for getting into Indian Armed Forces as an officer. So I was just going with the all about you, so I got to know that you have a very specific art and a very specific responsibility was given to you when you were in Indian Army, where generally what happens, army always have a short term 1 year, 2 year plans, but you were the very first person who was given the command to make a plan for upcoming 15 years. It is a very big thing, because Indian Army itself is a very, I would say, something which is very less ordinary. then when it is related to the nation's security and front, it becomes very sensitive. And on top of it, you were given such a responsibility and you did it so well. So if you can tell, with that vision and with that side you carry, jitne aane wale bache hain, the ones who are right from the schooling, they are planning to get into Indian Armed Forces, what is the right call for them? What is the way, what is the orientation they should take in order to be the future officers?
Right. If we have to combine these two things, that is taking a long-term view of a particular requirement, planning for it, and then heading to join a force like the Indian Army, which is one of the greatest armies of the world.
Correct.
Then what you need to do is, you have to have your ambition very clear as to what is it that you see of yourself in next 15 years, 20 years, 30 years. Do you want to become a general officer in the army? And if so, what kind of a general officer do you want to become? Do you want to command the troops directly on foot, one-to-one fight with the enemy? Or do you want to be in charge of those big guns called the artillery guns and bring down huge amount of firepower and bombs onto the enemy? Or do you want to be sitting in a tank and thereafter controlling a number of tanks and join the armored corps? Depending on what kind of the part of the army that you want to join, you should then prepare yourself accordingly. And if you prepare yourself mentally for that, then you also have to prepare as to how would you join the army. And in case you have to join the army, what needs to be clear in your mind is your own vision, your own ambition. And for that, you have to have a very clear, time-bound, prioritized plan how you will utilize your time and how you will carry out your preparations so that you are able to clear all your examinations, the written examinations, the SSB, and of course, be mentally and medically fit and physically fit so that you clear your physical exams as well as your medicals. I am sure you all will be able to do that easily and wish you all the best for that.
Great, sir. Such the words of wisdom from sir, and very brief. I believe he has shared something which is of golden value to all of us, and something marvelous, very crisp. And that's what I always say in my shows as well, that brevity is the hallmark of an officer, and he has demonstrated it very nicely. सर छोटा सा एक बहुत मैं खुद पर्सनली एक्साइटेड हूँ इस चीज़ के लिए. वैसे मेरा मानना ये है कि एक फ़ौजी की ज़िंदगी जो होती है, इट इज़ आई कॉल इट एज अ लेस ऑर्डिनरी, विच मीन्स इट्स एन एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी, एंड इट इज़ वेरी वेरी थ्रिलिंग इन एवरी सेंस, एंड एवरी वन हैज़ अ वेरी स्पेशल जर्नी. बट आपका, व्हेन आई गो विद इट, I believe, this is my belief, that yours is not only extra but it is extra. So अगर आप अपना बड़ा I'm really eager to listen, if you can in very short, for 3 minutes, 2 minutes, if you can share your whole army. I am saying I might not be asking you the right question because मैं आपको 37 years को बड़े छोटे टाइम में बोल रहा हूँ करने के लिए, but still that most challenging part which you really when you did it and you really had this thing ki yes, I have done something. So if you can conclude that whole 37 years, I'll be really excited to listen.
Okay, I'll give you small bits and I'm sure you can connect them very well, right? So initially when I joined, right in the beginning, I was made in charge of a few sports teams. To start with, first of them was the wrestling team. And we had competitions and we had to win, and there was no question of losing. Thereafter I was given the team for boxing, and then I was given the team for athletics. And I can tell you that we used to start off early in the morning at 3:45 a.m. in the morning, run for at least 20 kilometers every day.
Great.
At least 20 kilometers every day. You have to run maybe at least 20 because you have to then prepare your endurance and stamina for that. Finishing that, then you have to come and practice for that particular sport which you are actually targeting. Then know your opponents as to who all are going to be your opponents. Prepare your strategy accordingly, because especially in the weight categories in the wrestling and the boxing, which person is going to fight which bout, whether a higher weight or a lower weight, so that your opponents are then able to not make you lose, you win every single bout. And I can tell you very honestly that with the good training that we were able to sort of go through, absolutely brand new sportsmen of ours were able to make the others who were very accomplished and very seasoned sports people, they were made to lose. And that was one initial stages in the first year of my service itself. We were able to achieve that. That was one great achievement that I found was very good. Thereafter, I can say that in one particular situation, I was told to go for a particular training course. At a short notice, when I was not willing to go, they said, okay, we'll send you for the next course, but are you sure you'll top that course? I said, okay, I'll try to top that course. I said, okay, I'll try. And I assure you that I'll do my best. And God has been very kind. My seniors, my colleagues, my subordinates, everybody has been very kind to me. I prepared for 3 months, and you'll be happy to know that I did top the course.
Great.
And that the record which got created with that kind of marks is still unbroken till today, from 1987 till today. Then of course, as Ujjwal mentioned, that I was very, very fortunate. Maybe it was coincidence, or maybe it was the trust reposed in me by my superiors, that I got 3 different assignments for long-term planning. Long-term planning for training, long-term planning for modernization and force structuring of the army, long-term planning for financial planning for the army. So these were unique assignments which I was given, and God was very kind. We created very good plans which are approved by the government and are being implemented. Next thing was going into the counter-terrorist areas and doing operations there. There again we got very unique success, and the success is very good in the sense that we never had any casualties on our side. We made sure that there were no innocents who were killed. We made sure that there was no collateral damage to the civilian property or anything of that sort. And that I think we succeeded very well, and it was taken very well. Because I can very proudly say that I am the only officer of the army who has received 3 unit citations.
Great.
To get 1 unit citation is difficult, and to get 3 in a short period of time is really, really difficult. But God was kind, and my soldiers were really very good who supported me, and we all sort of as a team did a very good job. And after that, another great achievement was working for NCC in Gujarat. NCC Gujarat did wonders in those 2 years. They got the highest tally of medals. I remember a few of my cadets. One girl got nearly 22 medals all by herself.
Great.
Then I remember that there was this regatta competition of the Navy, and 6 events, all 6 gold medals were picked up by the Gujarat team.
Super.
So many of such events were there, and they did really well. I'm very, very happy. And thereafter, I have been with the Nehru Yuva Kendra Sangathan as the Director General for the complete country. And again, there have been very good achievements. So I can say that in a nutshell, God has been very kind. People have always supported me, and due to that, and due to the focused, planned way of sort of achieving results, you can succeed and you can do well. And I wish all of you the best, and I'm sure that you'll also be able to do equally well, or maybe better than that.
Mind-blowing. Such a kind words. I believe you have said something which is very close to what I was wanted to hear. Now, one very important thing, sir, which I have been seeing from the aspirants and viewers. So I would say if you can throw some limelight on that.
Yeah.
So what we have generally seen is like many viewers, they come and as we already know that if we talk about the process of Indian Armed Forces, so because it is less ordinary, so it's very, very niche. So let's say there are thousands, lakhs of aspirants who want to be the Indian Armed Forces officer, but obviously there has to be a very, I would say, the criteria is very, very niche where everyone cannot make up to be an officer. So to all those people who are trying and who really want to be an officer but due to one or the another reason are not able to get into forces, to them, what would be your say that if they really want to do something for the nation, for the people, then what is the orientation of the life they should adopt? Because you, I believe, even after getting retired from the forces, right now you are already doing a lot for the youth with government and with other foreign private bodies, and lakhs of youth are being mentored under you. So what you would say to all those aspirants who still have something in them to do for the people and for the nation but not able to make up to the forces?
Every single person who decides to attempt to join the forces is really worth a salute. I salute each one of you because of a very clear reason that you have taken a decision and you have taken an initiative. In life, anybody who can take initiative, and in life of anybody who can take a decision quickly, he will always be able to succeed. So firstly, my best wishes to each one of you, whether you make it or not, does not make a difference at all. Second thing is that having taken a decision and having taken the initiative, once you start preparing for the defense forces, certain things you will automatically do. What are those things? Those of you who start preparing for the written exams, you will certainly improve your linguistic skills. You will certainly improve your GK. You will perhaps also improve your mathematics, and thereby you would improve your own competence to handle any situation for that matter.
Correct.
One. Second is you will start analyzing things. You will start communicating better. So these analytical skills and communication skills are required in any profession, whether you go for marketing, whether you go for politics, whether you go for any other sort of job. They are going to be very, very useful. Third thing that you will do is you will start planning your time for your preparation. This time planning is again going to be very useful to you. So whether you get success or not, you will certainly improve yourself.
Correct.
And third and next thing that you'll do is you will certainly start exercising a certain amount of self-discipline upon yourself.
Absolutely.
That is going to make you the best person ever. Let me tell you, if you start seeing all around you, or you Google it on the internet, or you start any of the biographies of any great people, you will always find that every single person who has risen and achieved something, it is only because of imposing self-discipline.
100% correct.
Let me tell you, I am deliberately saying self-discipline. I am not saying discipline. Being from the army, normally people expect me to say discipline, but I say self-discipline. And when people ask me why discipline, why not discipline, and why discipline is, the answer is very simple. I see a leader in each one of you. And if you are a leader and if you want to go ahead of others, then self-discipline becomes important. It is simply very clear to you. In a class in the school, there is only one monitor. He imposes discipline on others. But who imposes the discipline on him or her?
Correct.
It is to be done by her or by him. That is by the monitor himself or herself. Therefore, every leader is required to impose that discipline, restraint, control on himself or herself. And this is what is going to take you ahead. One such example, right, very easily, which you can find today is our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Right? So if you imbibe so many good qualities, and once if you are able to go past the stage of the written test, and once you start preparing for SSB, the first thing that you'll do while preparing for SSB is to identify what are the officer-like qualities.
Correct.
You start developing them. You start making your sentences accordingly. You start building your stories accordingly. You start behaving accordingly. You start conducting accordingly. These things will remain with you throughout the life, whether you get success or not.
Absolutely.
And this is what I've seen in my life is that all those boys and girls who have either joined NCC or who have been part of NSS, or who have been preparing for the written exams and the SSB for joining the forces, all of them are doing better than anybody else in the civil world. Be it the industry, be it the corporate, be it the politics, be it any kind of job. Those people who have prepared themselves, they will always excel. They will always be able to achieve better results. So what I say is, just don't worry. Keep on preparing yourself for improving yourself, for joining the armed forces, for contributing to the nation. In any case, you will become a much better citizen. So again, my salute to each one of you for taking that very good decision and for taking that very good initiative. All the best.
Absolutely, I completely agree. And what he has rightly said, I can easily correlate and I can realize the same, because what he said is 100% correct, because the same I have manifested, because I wanted to do something, but unfortunately even after cracking SSB was not able to make up due to the medical rejection in Indian Air Force, but still wanted to do something, started with this. And I completely agree with your words, sir, that yes, if you have imbibed those qualities, those are the one which will going to take you off in your life at whatever dimensions you want to go and in respective fields. I completely agree. Absolutely correct, because I can relate, and that's what my I'll say to all the viewers, what he has said, we must take it by heart, because this is what will make us something do different and something less ordinary in life. टाइम बहुत कम है सर आपके साथ, बट बातें बहुत सारी करनी है. दो और चीज़ें पूछना चाहूँगा. Now I see that after being into army and forces, but now you have taken bit off track from it. In a sense, not I would say off track, but it is something leadership. But now you have also started pushing the youth in the startups and entrepreneurs and coming up with new innovations, and you are doing it with government also, with private bodies. So what you would say to all the viewers and all the young aspirants, that somehow if they're not able to make up to the forces, what is the way they should look out at being an entrepreneur or for the new innovation in this current digital era?
First thing is that innovation is something which is always going to give you huge amount of satisfaction and achievement.
Correct.
So whether you join or not, innovation must remain a part of you. Even if you join, innovation must remain a part of you. And I'll give you a very, very small example. I went for the first training course after joining the army, and that was the young officers course within 1 year of my joining. And there they were teaching us as to how a rifle functions. And the inner parts were not visible. They were explained to us with the help of a diagram and other things, but they were not visible. So that gave me an idea that if I'm finding it slightly difficult to understand, so must be the other students also. So in the evening, I started sparing about 45 minutes to 1 hour every day. And I started going to a wood workshop close by. I went there and I made all those parts, and I made a working wooden model where the parts were visible. And I gifted that model to the training center so that they could explain these things very easily to all the students. That helped the students to understand as to how the parts function very easily. Why I'm giving the example is because Ujjwal was asking that if you don't join, I'm saying even if you join, innovation is going to remain a part of you.
Absolutely.
So every stage you can innovate a new way of doing a new thing every day, or even a thing which was being done earlier, how to do it better, you can innovate. So innovation must remain a part of you and your life till the time you are alive. That should remain. Now as far as concern of the startup is there, startups or entrepreneurship is inbuilt in everybody.
Correct.
It is latent. It is there in you.
Right.
You have to allow it to come out. You have to feel the confidence of your idea. And the idea when you initially come up with may not be 100% practical or feasible.
Right.
Therefore, you discuss with your close friends, improve it so that it becomes practical and implementable.
Right.
Once it becomes useful, then see how best you can launch it. how best you can sort of find funds for it, how best can you create a market for it, and how best can you achieve your results for it.
Correct.
It is not essential that every time your idea has to be commercial or monetized.
Right.
There could be social ideas. The new field today which is opening up is the field called the social entrepreneurship or sociopreneurs. So there are entrepreneurs, there are sociopreneurs, there are agripreneurs, there are techpreneurs, and there are so many preneurs. All these people are coming up with different ideas, different innovations, different products, different services, so many of them. Today, the huge boon which God Almighty has given to us and the human mankind is given to us is the technology, the IT. With the help of the IT, you can really create wonders with the good ideas that you have and with the good concepts that you can build. Starting from a very, very simple idea of potato chips, a huge industry. One of the entrepreneurs who's today having a turnover of more than 3,000 crores, making only potato chips.
Right.
I invited him to sort of give a talk to our young people in Gujarat. He was very helpful to us, very cooperative. He came and told us as to how he started making potato chips, selling them while carrying them on his bicycle, then selling them while carrying them on a motorcycle, then putting a small sort of printed name into it so that people know that this is the particular person who's making it. And gradually the brand becomes popular. And today his turnover only from potato chips is 3,000 crores.
Great.
So startups could be from as simple an idea as the potato chips, or from sharing of information and turning into your internet, or sharing of your social sort of inputs and making it a Facebook or a WhatsApp. Each one of us knows that the WhatsApp, what was the kind of group we started, what is the total number of people who are managing the company even today. It is a very, very small group.
Correct.
Similarly, Facebook. You take the idea of Oyo rooms,
Right.
a very small sort of setup, but growing very big, very fast. You take BNB, you take any such entrepreneurs. And it is not that only they have grown and that you can't grow. And it is not that at times you will not find difficulties. It is not that you will not find failures. You all are aware as to what was the personal sort of educational qualification of whether it was Steve Jobs or it was Bill Gates or anybody else, and how they, when they started with their own company, they had to come out of their own company, they had to remain out of that company and then come back into the company and then started doing well. You all are aware of the story of KFC. Correct. The Colonel Saab who started his business post 60s. So there is no age, there is no bar, there is no restriction, there is nothing which stops you. We know so many people who are disabled, who do not have their limbs intact, and they are doing wonderfully well. They're running their industries.
Correct.
So the excuse of not having time, excuse of not having money, excuse of not having a good voice, excuse of not having good knowledge, not good education, nothing stands between you and success.
Superb. Golden words.
All the best.
Absolutely mind-blowing, sir. Hats off to you for such a brainstorming discussion. One last, very short, single message to all the youth you would like to give.
My message to all those who know me already is very clear. I am going to repeat the same.
I also know.
Right?
I also know.
I am going to repeat the same. You see, the biggest identity that anybody carries on Mother Earth is the identity of a nation. Starting from the smallest identity, that is your own self, your own name is the smallest identity, then comes your family identity, then comes your caste, community, creed, your state, your so-and-so, but the biggest identity that you carry, the passport that you carry, defines your nation. So nation has to be the biggest identity, and if you are part of that huge concept of a nation, whichever nation you belong to, one has to be very, very proud of it. And if you are proud of your nation, you have to make sure that everything that you do, you should do in a way that it is not less than excellent. That means nation has to be first.
Right.
For everything that you do, make sure nation is first. So nation first. And if you really want to do well, and if you really want people to respect you, then character has to be must. So remember, nation first and character must.
Perfect, superb. Good.
And the second thing I always say when I'm addressing the young people is Jai Hind, Jai Yuva. I want you to repeat it. Jai Hind, Jai Yuva.
Jai Hind, Jai Yuva.
Yeah.
Perfect. Superb.
Young people.
Superb, I would say, slogan he has given that I am already aware. As he said that many viewers who are watching him, they know, because this is what his slogan, and this is what when I very first time when I listened this, I was completely overwhelmed to see such a kind of a slogan given by someone who has such a very deep understanding and has done so many things. So बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिलता है हमारे को ऐसे लोगों से, the ones who have done so much for the nation, so much for the country. And the best part is he's retired, he has crossed 60, still he's just like as young as 25-year-old young youth, which is the best part I like about him. So it was wonderful talking to you, sir. Thank you so very much for joining us live on Youth Vets Passion Show. And I believe all our viewers, they must have gained a lot from your insightful words and your words of wisdom. And thank you once again for coming, and I really thank you for being a part of the show, sir.
Thank you. With your passion, I'm sure you will achieve your aim. And your aim is to be an excellent leader in whichever field you choose, right? Assure me today, promise to me today that you'll do it. Will you? I'm sure you will.
They will, sir.
Jai Hind.
Definitely. Jai Hind. See you guys in the next upcoming episodes with more such great personality. Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care. Jai Hind.